Imagine dropping a stone into a still pond. The ripples spread outward in all directions. Our thoughts work in a similar way. When we think, we send out waves that travel through the vast sea of mind that surrounds us, just like air surrounds our physical bodies. But thought waves are different from ripples in water. They move outward in every direction from a central point, much like rays of sunlight. These thought waves travel through what we can think of as a universal mental atmosphere. As they spread out, they lose some strength, just like sound fades with distance. This happens because of the resistance they meet as they pass through the collective mind energy around us. But here's something else to consider. Unlike water ripples, thought waves can reproduce themselves. In this way, they're more like sound waves. A strong thought can spark similar vibrations in other minds that are tuned into the same frequency. That's why we sometimes get random thoughts or feelings that seem to come from nowhere. They might be echoes of someone else's strong thoughts reaching us. However, if our minds aren't aligned with those thoughts, we're unlikely to pick them up. The more we focus on positive, empowering thoughts, the more we tune ourselves to receive similar ones from others. If we consistently think uplifting or ambitious thoughts, we set a kind of mental tone, a keynote. This makes it easier to pick up on the same type of thinking from others. On the flip side, if we constantly dwell on negative or fearful thoughts, we tune ourselves to that lower level and start attracting similar energy from others who are thinking the same way. We become, to a large extent, what we think. Our own thoughts shape who we are. We are also influenced by the thoughts and suggestions of others, whether they come through conversation or mental transmission. The kind of outside thoughts that affect us most are the ones that match our own mental state. Thoughts that don't match our current mindset don't make much impact because they don't resonate with us. Someone who believes in themselves and keeps a strong, positive mindset won't easily be brought down by the negative thoughts of others. But a person who is already feeling low is more likely to absorb and amplify those discouraging thoughts. That only drags them down further. In contrast, when we're feeling strong and determined, we can actually pick up on the positive energy sent out by others who are mentally strong and motivated. That gives us an extra boost. We attract thoughts that match the frequency of our own. Think success and you will start connecting with others who are on that same path. You'll support one another. Think failure and you'll find yourself surrounded by others who share the same defeated mindset, making it harder to break free. If you believe the world is full of bad people and bad outcomes, you'll keep finding evidence to prove it. But if you expect goodness, you'll notice it more often and draw in the people and situations that reflect it. We tend to find what we're looking for. To understand this more clearly, think about how a radio works. A receiver will only pick up a signal from a transmitter that's tuned to the same frequency. Other signals may be out there, but they don't affect it. The same goes for our minds. We only pick up thought vibrations that match our mental station. So if you've been feeling down, chances are you've tuned into a negative frequency. You may be receiving not just your own thoughts, but also the discouraging mental energy of others on that same wavelength. The good news is that when we feel a surge of excitement or strength, we quickly start to receive more of that powerful energy from others who are mentally strong and motivated. We often notice this when we're around other people. Some make us feel better and more alive, while others leave us drained. But this happens even when we're not physically with them. It's just harder to detect. Our minds can operate at many levels, from high, powerful, and positive to low, weak, and negative, with lots of shades in between. When your mind is working in a high, positive state, you feel energized, focused, confident, and ready to take on challenges. Your thoughts are strong and have the power to influence others or bring them along with you. When you're in a low, negative state, you feel tired, afraid, uncertain, and unable to act. You don't have much influence on others. In fact, you're more likely to be influenced or even used by people who are mentally stronger than you. Some people tend to be naturally more positive, while others lean negative. This is relative. You might be positive compared to one person, but negative compared to another. When people first meet, there's often a subtle mental exchange, a quiet test to see who's the more dominant or influential. This usually happens unconsciously. Sometimes, if both people are equally strong-willed, they may clash and fail to find common ground. In those cases, they may either separate or stay in constant conflict. In every relationship, we are either more positive or more negative. We might be dominant with our children or employees but submissive with a boss or someone we see as more assertive. These dynamics can shift. Sometimes a person who's usually passive suddenly steps into their power and becomes more assertive. As more people understand these mental principles, we'll see more individuals choosing to change their inner state and take control of their lives. The key is to know that you can raise your mental pitch, your level of positivity, through conscious effort and willpower. It also works the other way. If you don't pay attention or let your will weaken, you can slip into a low, negative state. Most people tend to operate on the negative side of the mental scale. That means there are more negative thought vibrations in the atmosphere. But the upside is that positive thoughts are much stronger than negative ones. If we use our willpower to raise our mental state, we can block out the negativity and tap into the powerful positive energy that's always available. That's one reason affirmations and self-suggestions are used in personal development practices. Affirmations don't have magical power by themselves. They help in two big ways. First, they build new habits of thought. Second, they raise our mental tone so we can start receiving more positive influences. Whether you realize it or not, you're always affirming something. When someone says, "I can," and "I will," and really means it, they start to shape the mindset and energy needed to succeed. They also become receptive to helpful thought waves from others. But when someone constantly expects failure, they block their own inner resources and become tuned to the world's failure mindset, which is, unfortunately, very common. Don't let yourself get pulled down by the negative thoughts of others. Elevate your mental state. Raise your thoughts to a higher level where the negative energy can't reach you. Then you'll connect with the powerful, positive energy being sent out by people who are also thinking big and aiming high. My goal is to help you develop your ability to use thought and will effectively, so you can keep control over your mind and raise your energy when needed. That doesn't mean you should always push yourself to stay at the highest possible level. Constant high tension isn't healthy. You'll need times when you relax and let yourself be open and receptive. Just make sure you can always shift back into a more positive, energized state when the moment calls for it. That way, you're not running on autopilot. You're in charge of your own mental state. Building willpower is like building muscle. It takes practice. At first, it's tough, but with consistent effort, you get stronger and more capable. We've all had moments where we've suddenly pulled ourselves together in a crisis. Imagine if that braced-up version of you became your normal way of operating. With steady practice, that's absolutely possible. But again, I'm not saying you should always be on high alert. That kind of strain can wear you out. It's important to also have moments of ease and openness, where you can take in new ideas and experiences. A healthy mind knows how to teach and lead, but also how to listen and learn.